Oh, buddy, grab your double-double and buckle up, because Canada just lit the political landscape on fire in a twist that's rattled Bay Street bankers, blindsided Laurentian elites, and probably sent Mark Carney crying into his imported silk. Handkerchief, the 2025 election has officially gone nuclear. We're talking full-blown recount chaos, national tension, and what's shaping up to be the defining political drama of our generation. And no, it's not spreadsheet-wielding Carney at the center of the storm. It's a woman of iron resolve. And Arctic Grace, Governor General Mary freaking Simon. Standing calmly beside her, likely with Rebel News in one hand and a copy of Milton Friedman in the other, is none other than Pierre Poilievre, the people's prime minister. Whether Ottawa likes it or not, now let's set the stage. Canadians coast to coast were expecting a landslide, a coronation even. Pierre had the crowds, the momentum, the grassroots firepower that made Trudeau's 2015 selfie fests look like forgotten memes. But what came next? Absolute mayhem. Pierre was packing rallies that looked more like Maple Leafs playoff games. Alberta? Locked down. Saskatchewan? Solid blue. Even Ontario started bleeding cracks through Liberal red. And Quebec? Sacre bleu. They were side-eyeing him like, okay, this guy might actually pull it off. Everything was pointing to a Conservative sweep. Then, bam, election night hits. Canadians are glued to their phones just waiting for the obvious. A Conservative majority. But what flashes across CBC's banner? Liberal victory, Carney claims minority government. Wait, what? People across the country spit out their poutine in pure confusion. What just happened? Did the ballots fall into a wormhole? Did someone hit rewind on the vote count? Did Trudeau sneak in wearing a fake mustache and cast 12 million ballots from some private island in the Caribbean? Because somehow, Mark Carney, the unelected, unelectable former Bank of England technocrat, suddenly won key ridings by margins so thin you'd need divine intervention and a microscope just to spot. Them Newfoundland? Won by one vote. Halton Hills? A magical spike in advance ballots that made Leafs fans' October optimism look humble. Vancouver South? More ballots than actual voters. That's not democracy. That's a statistical seance. That's a bingo night. Gone rogue. Straight-up electoral chaos disguised as a democratic process. And don't even get me started on Quebec, where apparently someone mixed up postal codes and just started tossing ballots into whichever riding felt close enough. Oh, you live in Saguenay? Sherbrooke's nearby, right? Tabernac. This wasn't an election. It was an administrative Cirque du Soleil, with Carney flipping midair while the media applauded like he just brought peace to the galaxy. But here's where things shift. This story stops being a political comedy and flips into a full-blown constitutional thriller. Because when everything was spiraling, when CBC was busy spinning narratives and the Toronto Star was quoting its usual anonymous Liberal source, someone finally stepped in. Not a politician, not a pundit, not a pollster. Governor General Mary Simon. Not your average ribbon-cutting figurehead, Mary Simon, Canada's first Indigenous Governor General, looked at the legal challenges, the recount requests, the 11 ridings with results so sketchy you'd think they were drawn in crayon, and said, enough. She wasn't about to let the elites use her office as a rubber stamp for a rushed, rigged outcome. Not on her watch. She said, whoa there, sweet cheeks. We're not crowning anyone just yet. And with that, the grin on Mark Carney's face disappeared quicker than surplus jobs under a Liberal budget. He walked into Rideau Hall expecting a photo op, handshakes, headlines, maybe even the keys to the country. But Governor General Mary Simon, with her calm strength and Arctic resolve, stood firm as the last checkpoint between process and presumption. Carney came in ready for his coronation. He walked out looking like someone who just bombed an interview. Stunned, pale, probably mumbling about macroeconomic frameworks, while Simon calmly reminded him, in both English and Inuktitut, what real leadership and representation look like. Meanwhile, Pierre Poilievre didn't flinch. No press conference tantrums, no cries of interference. He hit the ground running, meeting with Canadians, holding forums, and calling for fairness. Let the courts do their job. Let every vote be counted. That's leadership, not more charts and buzzwords while everyday Canadians watch their grocery bills balloon and energy workers get pink slips. And here's where things took a sharp turn. The recounts began. And in Windsor-Tecumseh, just 4 votes, 4 tiny tick marks. That's all it took. Poof. Just like that, Carney's mandate took another hit. Halton Hills, still under investigation. Vancouver South, total chaos. ballots. With missing IDs, voter counts not matching registration lists, envelopes sealed with what looked like hope and duct tape. Elections Canada issued a statement calling them minor discrepancies. Right, just like the Titanic had a minor leak. But here's the deeper problem for Carney. This isn't just about a recount. It's an identity crisis for the Liberal Party. Internal emails are now leaking, showing campaign staff in full-blown panic. MPs are begging for crisis comms help. Strategy teams are pointing fingers. Who let him speak German at an Ontario rally? One asked. Why did we nominate someone who hasn't lived in Canada for most of the last decade? Another fumed. And let's be honest, Mark Carney doesn't exactly scream relatable. He's not the guy you bump into at Canadian. Tire buying a snow shovel. He's the guy hiring a Luxembourg-based firm to shovel his walkway from abroad. He's not your neighbor. He's the financial advisor to your neighbor's offshore trust. He's more interested in trending on LinkedIn than listening to someone who's struggling to afford eggs. Meanwhile, Pierre Poilievre was doing something radical. Talking to people. Listening. Showing receipts. And when media outlets came at him with loaded questions, he came back with facts. You want to talk democracy? He asked. Then let's talk about advanced ballots with no tracking system. You want to talk leadership? Pierre Poilievre's. Right here, meeting Canadians, answering questions. And where's Carney? Likely in a Brussels boardroom, discussing carbon credits with economists who've never bought their own groceries. But the real plot twist, Governor General Mary Simon, wasn't done. After reviewing a tidal wave of inconsistencies from the recounts, she made a move that political science students will be analyzing for decades. No vague diplomatic language. This was a clear, firm declaration. Until all recounts are finalized and legal challenges resolved, the current government remains provisional. No formal power transfer will occur. Translation: Carney doesn't get the keys to 24 Sussex just yet. Not until every single ballot is verified. No pigeon mail delivery, no etch-a-sketch tallying. The Liberals were blindsided. The NDP scrambled to tweet about electoral integrity, while the Bloc stared into the distance, probably daydreaming about sovereignty again. But the real momentum, it came from the people. Canadians lit up. Talk radio was on fire. Comment sections overflowed. For once, someone in power said, enough. No more elite shortcuts, no more rubber-stamped transitions, just accountability. And now, two options. Either the recounts confirm Poilievre's rightful win, or we head straight into a constitutional showdown. And if that happens, buckle up, because Poilievre isn't just ready. He's about to sweep. Like a curling champ on Red Bull, Poilievre is locked in, laser-focused on restoring economic sanity to this frozen nation. Canadians have had it. They're done being called racists for supporting pipelines. Done being blamed for inflation because they dared to eat toast. Done being ignored unless they live within walking distance of CBC headquarters and a vegan cafe. And in Pierre, they see something rare. Someone who doesn't flinch, doesn't pander, and definitely doesn't take lectures from private jet bankers sipping $9 lattes at climate summits. This isn't just a recount. It's a national reckoning. And the best part? It's unfolding in real time. Mary Simon, the Governor-General nobody saw coming, is standing her ground. Pierre Poilievre, the leader Canadians have been waiting for, is rallying the nation. And Mark Carney? He's somewhere in a nearly empty press room, talking to 3 reporters and a confused pigeon, insisting this is all just a teachable moment in democratic elasticity. So, to the political class still clinging to the narrative, brace yourselves. The West is wide awake, the East is alert, and the forgotten middle, it's about to roar. Canada isn't broken, it's been mismanaged. But now the adults are stepping in. The red wave is crashing, the blue tide is rising, and somewhere deep in a Bay Street boardroom, Mark Carney just spilled his almond milk latte.